Before we proceed this afternoon, let us remember the victims of the shooting that happened in Ugbo today in our prayers. We ask that the good Lord rest their soul. The major story on our political space is the result of Ondo State governorship election, in which the governor of the state, Lucky Ayedatiwa, is the winner of the election. Good afternoon and welcome to Political Views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. I am Martin, the fine Shuku AKZ. Also on our political space this afternoon, the presidency is accusing former president of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, of inflicting mortal wounds on Nigeria during his administration. Yes, a lot is happening on our political space, and as man is, a political animal, we must pay attention to what is going on in the corridors of power because, in one way or the other, it affects you and me. So, currently, there is killing in Ubo, Anambra State, in respect of the enforcement of Monday sit at home in Anambra State and the southeast at large. A lot is happening, and it affects you and me in one way or the other. So, let me bring you up to speed on the happenings on our political space this afternoon. The headlines. On the headlines this afternoon, Obasanjo's regime left democracy with mortal wounds. A presidency. Ondo poll. Labour Party candidate blames Obi NLC for defeat. Gunmen kill four security operatives in Anambra. Abiodun Adebutu clash as APC clears Ogun local government seats. Tinubu's re-election, my priority, says Ubuku. Lawmaker empowers constituents with vehicles, equipment in Abia. Zamfara governor swears in new local government chairman. High transport cost reason for food price hike, says Abia Imo residents. Buhari hails APC's victory in Ondo governorship election. Tinubu arrives Brazil for G20 summit. This and more will be the course of our discussion this afternoon on political views. It is political views on Ebona at the 103.5 FM this afternoon, and the first story we have for you now is Obasanjo regime left democracy with mortal wounds. Presidency. Special advisor to President Bola Tinubu on public communication and orientation, Sunday Dare, has stated that Nigeria's democracy endured severe setbacks under former President Olusegun Obasanjo. In a statement shared on his X account on Monday, Dare claimed that successive administrations struggled to rectify the damage left by Obasanjo, and President Tinubu is now making significant progress in addressing these issues. According to Dare, Obasanjo has lost any mortal authority to criticize the current government, stressing that he should apologize to Nigerians for failing to lay the necessary infrastructure for country's progress. He said democracy suffered mortal wounds under his watch, only exacerbated by his destructive obsession with an ill-fated third-term bid. He is a man with a tremendous capacity for mischief, and Nigerians know it. His journey down the path of delusion has always been apparent as he left as he has his descendants into distorting fact, forgetting that he presided over a presidency that was among the most corrupt in history. His recent comments at Yale University lack sincerity. It is laughable that Obasanjo's pretensions about fighting corruption are failing to convince the general public. Dare pointed out that under Obasanjo's leadership, no explanation was given for the $16 billion wasted on generating megawatts of darkness across the nation. But that is not even the main issue. The Yoruba proverb teaches that we should not be distracted by noise of markets. Instead, we should focus on the person with whom we are negotiating with. Still on the stories making rounds our political space this afternoon, Ondo poll. Labour Party candidate blames C for defeat. The reinstated Labour Party governorship candidate in Ondo State, Ayodele Olorunfemi, has bemoaned his failure to win Saturday's election, blaming former Anambra State Governor P2P and the Nigerian Labour Congress for his predicament. Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa of the ruling All Progressive Congress was declared the winner by the Independent National Electoral Commission after sweeping the 18 local government areas in Ondo. In the final declaration of the result by the state returning officer, Professor Olayemi Akuwumi, he said APC's Aida Tiwa polled a total of 366,781 votes to defeat Abuola Ajayi of the PDP, who got 117,845 votes. The returning officer said that Aida Tiwa Lucky Aris of APC, having certified the requirement of the law, is hereby returned elected. Olorunfemi's loss comes a few days after INEC returned his name on the ballot as a Labour Party flag bearer for the November 16 poll, following a ruling by the Court of Appeal. Following weeks of suspense, Olorunfemi heaved a sign of relief when the Court of Appeal in Abuja vacated an earlier judgment by the Federal High Court ordering the electoral umpire to recognize Obi's anointed candidate, Olushola Ebiseni. Reacting in an interview with newsmen, Olorunfemi vowed not to forgive the former Labour Party presidential candidate and the NLC for the role they played in scuttling his own governorship campaign. When asked if he succeeds in having a last-minute door-to-door campaign with his supporters after winning his appeal, a saddened Labour flag bearer confessed that his campaign for the election was neither here nor there. He said, I have a P2B and the NLC to thank for that. They have scuttled my aspirations and chances to win this Ondo election. These people spoiled things for us. With that PDP rejected, they wanted to force on the party. Their insistence on having a Biseni on the ruined everything for me, he stated. Still on the stories making rounds our political space this afternoon. Gunmen kill four security operatives in Anambra, abduct others. Four security operatives have been killed by rampaging gunmen in Anambra State. The incident occurred between 8 o'clock a.m. to 8:45 a.m. Monday morning, while the first attack took place at Abatete in Idemili North local government area of the state, leaving three vigilant operatives attacked to the President General PG of Abatete community, High Chief Eze Binobi Ezigbo, dead. The second attack, newsman learned, happened at Ugbo roundabout in neighboring Dunukofia local government area of the state at about 8:45 a.m., where one vigilant operative was killed and their Sienna bus set ablaze. The Abatete community leader was said to be injured in the attack. A source in Abatete said the community leader had been rushed to hospital even as he expressed fears of his survival. We hope he survives because we learned that the bullet hit him on his head. He was being accompanied by some vigilant operatives because he was provided with security after he was attacked and abducted a few months ago. The hoodlums were said to be enforcing the illegal sit-at-home order when they launched the attack on another vigilant operatives at Ugo roundabout Junukofia and killed one of the vigilant operatives and set ablaze their official Sienna bus. When contacted, Anambra State Police Public Relations Officer SP Tochpi Kenga confirmed the incident but said he could not confirm the number of those killed, injured, or abducted. He, however, said that operatives of the police command had been deployed by the Commissioner of Police, CP Nange, Itam, to the affected communities and promised to give an update later. Meanwhile, newsmen learned that beside the three vigilant operatives killed in Abatete and community leader who sustained gunshot injury, about seven people were abducted and whisked away by the hoodlums, while many others sustained injuries as a result of pandemonium that broke out when the gunmen started shooting sporadically. Still on the stories making rounds at political space this afternoon, Abiodun Adebutu clash as APC clears Ogun local government seats. The All Progressives Congress has won all the 20 local government chairmanship and 236 councillors of positions in the council elections held in Ogun Saturday. The chairman of the Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission, Babatunde Osibodu, announced the result on Sunday at the commission's headquarters in Abeokuta. Osibodu said 19 political parties, including the People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party, participated in the election. Meanwhile, the Ogun State government on Sunday accused the PDP governorship candidate in the 2023 general elections, Oladipo Adeputu, of assembling some policemen who reportedly fired open fire on the newly elected vice chairman of Ikene local government, Muhammad Efuwape, and another voter simply identified as Biola of Iperu. During the Saturday poll, Governor Dapo Abiodun's chief press secretary, Lekan Adeniran, made the allegation in a statement on Sunday. Adeniran said that while the vice chairman escaped death by whiskers, Biola was not so lucky as the gunfire at him by these alleged police officers shattered his leg and he is currently receiving medical treatment at the hospital. The statement claimed that Adeputu illegally brought in over 40 policemen from Mopo 49 in Lagos with PDP thugs riding on Okadas, going around and trying to snatch ballot boxes while brandishing guns and other weapons in the Kenya local government in in their desperate attempts to scuttle the electoral process. But Adebutu's media aide, Afolabi Orekeya, in a statement on Sunday, described the allegations by the state government as lies from the pit of hell and an attempt to cover up the intimidations and oppression of the people of Ogun East during the local government's election. Giving an account of Saturday's incident, Orekoya said Adebutu's son was attacked by a group of thugs in the neighborhood very close to Adebutu's house, not at a polling unit, but on his way to the house. While the thugs began to shoot in their usual manner, they shot one of the policemen attached to Honorable Adebutu still around his house and not at any polling unit, as claimed by the government. The shot policemen Policeman was quickly rescued and taken to the hospital. The thugs and their paymasters, including the governor's security operatives, were all working hand in hand, and they stormed Honorable Adebuti's house, claiming it was on the instruction of the Inspector General, who had been fed with the wrong account of the incident. After about 40 minutes, armed policemen with armored tanks and trucks numbering over 100 stormed Honorable Adebutu's house to arrest Honorable Oladipo Adeputu, but he requested for his arrest warrant and they could not produce any. They left his house after about an hour of holding him hostage, he stated. And the next story we have for you this afternoon is Tinubu's re-election, my priority, says Obu. The managing director and chief executive The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Niger Delta Development Commission, Dr. Samuel Obuku, has told the stakeholders in Niger Delta and Bayelsa State that his ambition is to deliver on the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Niger Delta and make his re-election easy in 2027. He called on stakeholders, particularly in Bayelsa, to stop creating an impression of a rift between him and the Governor Duye and work with all the leaders to attract more development to the state. Obuku, in an interview at the weekend, spoke on a wide range of issues such as the Commission's achievements of future projects and the matters that arose when he led a delegation to visit Governor Diri at the government house in Yenegua. Speaking about insinuations in many quarters that he was nursing a governorship ambition, Obuku said he was primarily focused on discharging his responsibilities for the development of Niger Delta. He urged the persons already setting up governorship structures for him in Bayelsa to desist and allow him concentrate on his job at the Niger Delta Development Commission. Obuku said, "It is laughable. I have heard many calls of people making such insinuations and assumptions. 2027 is very far away from 2024. We are just concluding 2024. Appointment is going to end in November 2027. And I believe that is when the governorship election in Bayelsa will also be holding. Now, my mandate is 4 years. I am not driven by an ambition. I am driven by service and loyalty. Right now, my loyalty is to Mr. President, and I have not finished the assignment he gave me. So why will I want to abandon this one and be chasing another one? It is an act of disloyalty. I need to conclude what I have in future. The Lord may bring out another opportunity for me that may be bigger than that of being the governor of Bayelsa. I can't limit my horizon to the governorship of Bayelsa, he stated. Still on our political space this afternoon, lawmaker empowers constituents with vehicles, equipment in Abia. A Labour Party member representing Ishukwuato and Umunochi Federal Constituency of Abia State in the House of Representatives, Amobi Oga, has donated vehicles and various empowerment tools to over 100 constituents. The donation was part of activities marking his first year in office. During the event in Onuaku Uturu community, Oga provided 15 vehicles, including cars, minibuses, trucks, 20 tricycles, and 66 motorcycles. Additionally, items included hairdressing machines, sewing machines, grinding machines, vulcanizing equipment, generators, car wash pumps, bags of fertilizers, and rice. He also announced that 30 more motorcycles were en route for distribution. Oga urged the beneficiaries to utilize the items effectively to become self-reliant and employers, promising this gesture would be a yearly tradition. In addition to these donations. Oga highlighted infrastructural projects in his constituents. He has reconstructed the Ukwu Ngwangwu daily market, installed solar-powered street lights, and opened access roads to Ulonna North Farm Settlement to facilitate the movement of farm produce. He also installed solar-powered boreholes across the 5 zones, including Uturu, Ishukwato, and NATO. Further initiatives include constructing a 6 classroom block at Iziama NATO Model Secondary School, distributing 1,000 super green palm seedlings, and awarding scholarships to 22 students at Abia State College of Health Sciences and 66 youths at the Federal College of Agriculture, Isiago, Ebonyi State. And the next story we have for you this afternoon, Zamfara governor swears in new local government chairman. Governor Dauda Lawal has inaugurated the newly elected local government chairman in Zamfara State, urging them to prioritize the welfare of their constituents and ensure equitable distribution of developmental projects. The swearing-in ceremonies followed elections conducted by the Zamfara State Independent Electoral Commission, which declared candidates of the ruling People's Democratic Party winners across the 14 local government areas. Speaking during the event on Sunday, Governor Lawal commended Zamfara State Independent Electoral Commission for organizing what he described as a free, fair, and credible elections. He emphasized the critical role of local governments in bringing governance closer to the people and addressing pressing socio-economic and security challenges. Governor Lawal outlined his expectations of the new chairman, stating, "Your election is a call to service. Prioritize the welfare of your people and ensure fairness in distributing developmental projects. This should be achieved by leveraging the administration's social investment programs to create employment opportunities and curb crimes in the state." The governor also stressed the importance of transparency and accountability in managing public resources, urging the new leaders to align their policies with the administration's 6 priority areas: security, education, agriculture, and food security, economic growth, health, and infrastructural development. Still on the happenings on our political space, high transport costs reason for food price hike, says Abia Imo residents. Residents of Imo and Abia in the southeast have blamed the persistently rising prices of foodstuffs in the country on the hike in the cost of transportation of goods. Newsmen reports that prices of various foodstuffs, especially farm produce, have continued to skyrocket, notwithstanding the reason of harvest notwithstanding the season of harvest. A cross section of the people in Owerri said that the high cost of transportation was a direct impact of the fuel subsidy removal. A cassava farmer, Mrs. Chikaode Igbokwe, said that although this is the period of harvest, farmers were paying through their noses to move their produce from the farm to the market. Igbokwe said, "We pay heavily to transport the produce from the farm to the market, and this factor explains the reason for the hike in the prices of food items." An economist, Mr. Henry Asho, said the prices of basic food items were in constant competition with the increasing prices of basic services. Asho said that since farmers and food vendors depend on the gains made from the goods to be able to pay for manufactured goods and social services, it is unlikely to expect them to sell at giveaway prices. The inflation is general and not just about food items. What has not inflated? Education and healthcare services, as well as a landed property and social services, are all are on the rise, he said. A senior staff member of the State Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Ken Chukwuemeka, said that the Imo's government was taking steps to cushion the impact of inflation on citizens. According to Chukwuemeka, in recent times, farmers received inputs and palliatives distributed by the state government. Ms. Harriet Ijoma, the executive director of Hasco Media and Communication firm with a strong interest in agriculture, urged the federal government to empower farmers in the southern part of the country. Ijoma said that empowering farmers will help them to produce more and encourage competition between farmers in the country. Still on the happenings on our political space this afternoon, Buhari hails APC victory in Ondo governorship election. Former President Muhammadu Buhari has commended the success of the All Progressive Congress in the Saturday governorship election in Ondo State, which returned Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa. In his reaction to the outcome of the election, the former president said the voters had spoken lucidly and loudly about the confidence they have in the party and the governor. Buhari said in a statement by his spokesperson, Garba Shehu, on Sunday that the voters had expressed their wish through the ballot box, adding that this should be respected by other stakeholders. The former president said while the election outcome has shown that democracy remains strong and cannot be easily overturned in a country as large and diverse as Nigeria, it is equally a challenge to the governor elect to put in place policies that engender economic growth, tame high unemployment and inflation, and advance the pursuit of welfare programs to make life better for the people, the statement read. Buhari also commended the Independent National Electoral Commission and the law enforcement agencies for their efforts in reducing observed shortcomings in previous elections. He wished Aiyedatiwa and his team a successful tenure in office. You are listening to Political Views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. We'll now go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making rounds at political space this afternoon. Please stay with us. Century is gone. When you have everyone at the 103.5 FM, here, what are you celebrating today? Birthdays, wedding anniversary, traditional wedding, chieftaincy conferment, or fala, etc. Approach everyone at the 103.5 FM Ogidi today to document your event. Everyone at the 103.5 FM offers you live coverage of your events on radio and social media, video and photo coverages feature on magazines, photo books and others, news coverage of political and other events. Take this offer and receive a complete coverage. For more information, call or WhatsApp 08065796599 or you visit upon 103.5 FM Ogidi opposite Ogunike Boys inside the European Residency Hotel Ogidi. You're welcome back to Political Views on Airborne at the 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 08065796599. I remain Martin, and we are on to the stories making rounds our political space this afternoon. The next story we have for you is Tinubu arrives Brazil for G20 summit. President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to attend the 19th head of states and the government summit of the Group of 20 (G20). The president on Sunday at 11:30 p.m. local time, Monday 3 o'clock a.m. Nigerian time, was received by Ambassador Breno Costa in the Ministry of External Relations of Brazil. He was accompanied by the Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tuga, the Minister of Livestock Development Idi Mukta Maiha, and the Minister of Art, Tourism, Culture and Creativity Hanatu Musawa. Others are the Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security Dr. Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi and Director General of the National Intelligence Agency Ambassador Muhammad Muhammad. Tinubu is also expected to hold bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the summit on the advancement of Nigeria's socio-economic reforms. The president of Brazil, Lula da Silva, is hosting the 2024 G Summit, having held the group's rotating presidency since December 21st, 2023. His tenure ends on November 30th. The summit, with the theme of Building a Just World and Sustainable Planet, will focus on three dimensions of sustainable development: economic, social, and environmental, the reform of global governance. It will also highlight the rising global temperatures and principles of the digital economy, among other things. The Brazilian presidency will also treat a priority: the Israel Hamas war and the rising bloc confrontation between the United States and China. The newsman reports that the conclusion of the work carried out by the country holding the G20 rotating presidency is usually presented at the annual summit. It is the moment when head of a state and government approve the agreement negotiated throughout the year and point out ways of dealing with global challenges. Newsmen also reports that the Leaders Summit, the climax of the G20 work carried out over the years through ministerial meetings, working groups, and engagement groups, would be presented for adoption at the summit. The summit will be attended by 19 member countries, including Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, India, and Indonesia. Others are Italy, Japan, the Republic of Korea, Mexico, the Russian Federation, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, and the UK and the US. And still on the happenings on our political space this afternoon, Labour Party will overcome its challenges, says Senator Ume. A chieftain of the Labour Party and senator representing Anambra Central Senatorial District in the National Assembly, Victor Ume, has expressed optimism that the party will overcome its current travails. Ume expressed the optimism on Sunday at the Thanksgiving service organized by a senator representing Enugu East Senatorial District, Kelvin Chukwu, held at the Holy Ghost Cathedral in Enugu. The service was organized to herald the lawmakers' empowerment program for his constituents. He maintained that every party has its peculiar crisis, stating that internal crisis was therefore not strange to the party. Every party is in crisis. It is not peculiar to Labour Party alone. I know we have challenges in the party, but we are doing everything, working very hard to resolve all issues we have in the party, he stated. On the challenges of hardship facing the country, Ume said the National Assembly has been doing its best to support the government to fight the problems in the country. He added that there is nothing that President Bola Tinubu has requested that the National Assembly has denied him. When asked to react to the poor performance of the Labour Party in the last local government election held in Abia State, Ume said elections of such nature come with dynamics, adding that the general election is more promising. Speaking at the distribution of the empowerment items held at the University of Nigeria Enugu campus, the chairman of the occasion, Dr. Ben Moye, described the gesture as true representation of democracy. And lastly, before you can call in and tell us what you think of all that is going on in our political space this afternoon, states FCT failed to assess 135.5 billion naira UBEC matching grants. The Universal Basic Education Commission has revealed that a staggering sum of 135 billion in matching grants have remained unassessed by state governments between 2020 and 2024. The Executive Secretary of UBEC, Dr. Hamid Boboyi, disclosed this during his presentation of the 2023 and the 2024 budget implementation reports to the Senate Committee on Basic and Secondary Education on Monday in Abuja. The Legislative Committee was at the UBEC headquarters on an oversight visit to assess the progress of UBEC's activities and the disbursement of funds. Boboyi clarified that the current year's budget 2024 was typically disbursed in the following year, which means that the allocated funds do not usually lapse, unlike funds allocated to the organization. Despite this, he expressed concern that many states have failed to meet the necessary conditions to access the funds, leaving much needed resources untapped for educational development. He pointed out that despite some progress, 9 states and the Federal Capital Territory still who have not assessed the 2023 UBEC matching grants in terms of regional performance. The Northwest Zone has performed the best, achieving 100% access to the UBEC matching grants, while the South-South Zone has assessed 97.92% of its allocated funds. Yes, a lot is happening on our political space, and there you have it. But the question this afternoon is basically the enforcement of sit at home that takes away people, that destroy our own people, that uh, at the time some people have fell victim to that of the shooting this today being Monday. What must be done? I know, yes, everybody is still going towards, like, the unconditional release of Mazen and the Kano, but this enforcement, the people who lost their lives today are human. They are like us, they are our own brothers, but we lost them today. We must talk about the situation. And at the same time, we are also looking into the situation in Labour Party, a situation whereby that the candidate of the Labour Party on this governorship election that happened in Ondo State is blaming the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party and the former governor of Anambra State, Mr. Pitobi, and the leadership of NLC for his, defeat in this election. Anyway, he cited the fact that some of the delays or some of the activities in the court that delayed his campaign at the end of the day. So, what is your take on all of this? We need to hear from you because all that is going on in the